So the unit's been completely emptied out. We've got all of the weight out of there. It makes it a lot easier to lift it up. Now the next thing you need to do is we need to install the handles on here. And we've got handle brackets down low where this bigger hole is in the side. And we've got two big heavy-duty stainless steel handles that we're going to install to the side of this. And those allow you to lift it onto the cart and also to maneuver the unit around once it's on the cart. Okay, so we're going to take 4 of our 1/2-inch screws, and we're going to take one of the handles, and we're just going to fasten it onto the side. Now you're definitely going to want to use a screwdriver to help you on this. And again, just finger tighten everything first once you get it lined up, but I like to stick a screwdriver in from here, get it underneath. Okay, so now that the screws are lined up, you want to tighten these up really good with your screwdriver. Just as tight as you can get them. Okay, and now we've got both handles on. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is assemble the chimney, which is pretty simple. We've got to put 3 screws. There's a little bag with 3 screws in with the chimney cap. And you just got to line these up. Just kind of start them loose at first until you get them all lined up. Then once all 3 of them are started, you can go ahead and tighten them up. So we're going to take this, and we've got this bar in here. And we're going to line this bar up with the slots that are here, and you can see a little keyhole on the side here. So what you're going to try to do is line it up, make sure it drops all the way over the inside part. There. And then turn it. You can see it's locked in place. So when you bring this through a doorway, you just snap, lock, and remove that so that you don't have any clearance problems when you're bringing it through the door. So that's locked in place. And then to operate this, you pull on the spring handle, and it's in the open position down low, and you can adjust it by going up and down. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is lift the unit up onto the cart. Now what you want to do is take the cart, put it right in front of the unit. The wheels are locked, and we're just going to lift it straight up with our legs. And line it up on the cart. And then we've got 2 screw holes on each side, so 4 in the front and 4 in the back. And the next thing we want to do is move this around and get all of those screws loosely in place, then tighten them down. This is why it's very important not to tighten any of them down until you've lined all the holes up. So now that we've got the basic assembly done, there are 3 little things that we've got to do inside the oven, and we're finished. There is a steam vent hole inside the pizza oven, which this has to be assembled into. And then we've got a thermometer bracket that's going to go on the side here, so you can run digital thermometer probes inside the ovens. And then the last thing is we are giving you another pizza stone to mount on the roof of the oven. And there's a jack to hold that in place, and then a couple of brackets just to screw it in place. So we're going to do all 3 of those things right now. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is give you a bracket here so that if you've got a digital thermometer, you can mount it in there. So there's a slot cut in the side of this. You're going to slip it up through the slot. That'll just rest it in place until you can line up the screws. So tighten both of those screws up, and you're done on that. So the next thing we're going to do is this steam vent pipe needs to get mounted inside. And there's two little tiny screws that came with it that are going to mount this. But the first thing we need to do is there's a mechanism, there's a spring-loaded mechanism on the outside. And we just need to spin that off and hang on to it until the pipe goes through the hole. So open up your pizza oven. And way down there in the back you'll see the hole. There may be a little bit of the high heat insulation in the way, so just kind of move it around. And what you want to do is just push that through. Once that assembly is done, then go to the back of the oven, take the spring and the little handle and the screw and the nut and just put them back on. You can use an adjustable wrench on this, a little socket set, or this is a nylon nut on here, and so that's going to spin around and then just lock in place for you. You just want that on there until the threads are shown through the other side. And that just kind of holds that vent open to closed. The last assembly step inside the pizza oven is to install the stone to the roof of the oven. You're going to install it, and it's going to be held up in place by two brackets and a total of 6 screws. And we know that's a bit of a tedious process to put that up there, so we've given you a jack to hold it up in place while you install it. Now the first thing we're going to have you do is we're going to install one of the brackets loosely on one side. Once that's done, that'll help hold the stone in place, and then we adjust the jack so that it's sitting there, and then we can finish tightening that side and then go over and install the other bracket. Okay, now with the bracket in place on one side, we're going to take 2 steps to lift the stone up in there. We've got 1 brick in the center of the oven. We've got our jack ready to go. This end screws out as you adjust it upwards. Step 1 is take the stone, set it on the middle rack. Just let it sit there, and then angle it up so that it drops to the bottom of the oven, and you get it up above the bracket. Then take the jack, screw it out, just so the stone's resting on it. Then take your screwdriver and tighten the bracket. There, so the bracket's in place on that side, and then we just got to put this one on the other side. That completes all the basic assembly steps that you need to complete before the break-in burn. However, you got to do a little bit of cleaning and get ready for the burn. And there's a couple of steps. First of all, there's little bits of cement dust in there. You're going to feel like there's a little bit of moisture in there. That's because the stones collected moisture from the humidity, and you need to wipe and clean that out of there. And then there's machining oils that you want to get out of there. And then the break-in burn will take care of cleaning up the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to clean up the cement dust and wipe it out with an orange cleaner and a rag. We're also going to condition the glass doors. These are actually ceramic, and we're going to put a coating on those so that they are a little bit easier for you to clean after they pick up some soot and smoke. And then we're also going to get everything ready to load in the different racks and pans. Thank you for watching this video on Generation 2 of the EcoQue wood-fired oven and smoker. It's just one of a growing series of videos on our Generation 2 ovens. You'll find all of our videos on the EcoQue YouTube channel,
at youtube.com/user/EcoQue. We hope all these videos will help you enjoy using your new oven.